Hello guys, I welcome you all to this video. Myself P. Mounika, Assistant Professor of English, KSR College of Arts and Science for Women, Trichangur. Today we have to see the topics of History of English Literature, Romantic Age. So in this Romantic Age, we have see the notable writers of this age. Charles Lamb, Hazlitt, and the Victorian Age, Ruskin, Bond, and Arnold. And the 20th century period, George Orwell, and Huxley. The first one, Romantic Age, the overview. So the Romantic Age was considered as the late 18th century to early 19th century. The period of time is considered as a Romantic Age. So many of the writers they were started their career in this period. So first of all, the poet Charles Lamb. So he was the one of the princes of essayists. He wrote so many essays. So the people called him as the prince of essayists. So his famous work was the essays of Elia. So the next one, William Hazlitt. He was the one of the leading critic and essayist of the Romantic era. So he followed his style in a different manner. So his works are fully focused on the literature and human nature. His famous work was The Table Talk, The Spirit of the Age. The Victorian Age, 1837 to 1901. So the John Ruskin and Matthew Arnold, these are all the major writers of this period. So Ruskin, he was the art critic and social thinker, and Matthew Arnold, he was the poet, cultural critic, and education reformer. His famous work was The Culture and the Anarchy and Essays in Criticism. So the next one, the 20th century overview. George Orwell, he was the famous journalist and critic and novelist of this age. So his famous work was The Animal Farm. It was published in the year of 1984. He followed the themes in a clear, direct, and political manner. So next one, the Aldous Huxley. So he was the one of the essayist, philosopher, and novelist. His famous work was The Brave New World and The Doors of Perfection. So he followed the styles in a thoughtful and analytical and futuristic way. So he was the one of the he followed the main theme of the future society. William Wordsworth, he was the father of English Romanticism, and he focused on the nature, simplicity, and he focused on the common people's life, and he followed the styles in a personal and reflective manner. Next one, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, he was the one of the poet and critic, mystical and supernatural tone. So his style was one of the imaginative style. He followed a dream-like style also. Also he followed his themes are fully focused on the supernatural and spirituality and historical way. Themes he followed. His famous key works, Kuplagon, it is the one of the notable work of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. And next one, Percy Bysshe Shelley. So he was one of the revolutionary and idealistic poet. He followed his style in a passionate, lyrical, and philosophical way. So his themes is fully focused on freedom, reform, and imagination. Themes only he followed, and his famous work was Ode to the West Wind, To a Shylock. So next one, Alfred Lord Tennyson, he was the one of the poet laureate of England. He followed the themes of faith, loss, and doubt. His style is a musical and emotional restraint. Next one, Robert Browning. He was the master of dramatic monologue. He followed the themes like psychology, morality, and human motivation. He followed the style in a complex, dramatic, and conversational style. His key works, My Lost Duchess, Andrea del Sarto. Next one, the 20th century poetry overview. The people followed a modernism. So what is meant by modernism? It is an experimentation with form and language. So the peoples, they were followed the themes like war, identity, and fragmentation and spiritual crisis only they followed. So the main poets of this period, Gerard Manley Hopkins and T.S. Eliot. So Gerard Manley Hopkins, he was the one of the innovator of sprung rhythm. So he followed a style in a experimental, intense, and religious style. So his themes are different from others because he followed a nature, faith, and inner struggle of the human beings. And his famous work was God's Grandeur, the Windhover. Next one, the T.S. Eliot. He was the one of the leading modernist poet. His themes are alienation, fragmentation, and spiritual emptiness. He followed the styles in a symbolic, complex, and intellectual style. The Wasteland and the Love of the Song of J. Alfred Prefect. It was the one of the famous work of T.S. Eliot. Thank you, guys.